GeoGebra has some helpful tools we can use to create different types of polygons. If you scroll to your polygon section, notice there's a polygon tool and a regular polygon tool. We're going to try the regular polygon tool. I'm going to click to make one side, and then it asks me how many vertices I want. I think I want my polygon to be a hexagon, so I will enter 6. And it creates a perfect regular hexagon for me. If I click A or B to move that around, notice that it stays regular no matter how I change the size or how I change the placement. So there's regular hexagon. Sometimes in a polygon we also want to add a diagonal. That's just a line segment, so I will use my segment tool. I think I'm going to connect segment AC. I could connect any two non-consecutive. Using the measure tools, I can also find the perimeter of a polygon. Check my distance or length. I'm going to click on the polygon and it will show me the perimeter. I'm going to use my arrow tool to move that caption out of the way a little bit. And if I change the size, notice that the perimeter changes size as I move the polygon. I can also make my triangles or something that's not a regular polygon with just the plain polygon tool. I'm going to choose to make an obtuse scalene triangle, so it has one obtuse angle with vertex at H and none of the sides are the same length. Let's verify that. If I just want side lengths, I can use my distance tool and just click on the side of the triangle, not the middle, and that gives me the length for each individual size. I can also use the angle measure tool to measure angle IHG and show that this is an obtuse angle. So that shows that it is both obtuse and scalene. Some of our special quadrilaterals can also be constructed, but we need a few more steps. If I want to construct a kite, I'm actually going to start with my line segment tool. And then under construct, there's a perpendicular bisector option. I can either select the endpoints or you can just click in the line segment and you can see that makes a perpendicular bisector, stays perpendicular, stays right in the middle. I'm going to use my polygon tool. I'm going to start by clicking on the perpendicular bisector, then one of my original endpoints, then on the perpendicular bisector on the other side, the other endpoint, and then back to the start. You do have to click back to the start in order to close your polygon. And I can use my distance or length tool, click on the sides, and verify that I have 2 consecutive sides that both measure 3.2 and 2 consecutive sides that measure 1.7. And no matter how I change the size or the placement, that always stays the same. It is always the kite. I might not want to have the line segment and the line here as well, but I can't delete them because the rest of my kite is attached to them. Up at the top, there's a Show Hide Object button. I'm going to click that. I want to hide the line, so I'll click my line. You can see it kind of grays out. I want to hide the segment, so I'll click the segment. Then when I click my arrow tool again, you can see that they're gone. Looks like I accidentally got rid of one of my points as well. So I'll click that back on, click the point, and then you can see I have my kite. If I want to make a parallelogram, I am first going to start by making a line and a point, so I can use my parallel line tool. So I have my line, I have my point, parallel lines. I want a line parallel to NO through point P. So that will give me one set of parallel sides. I'm also going to make a line through NP because I also want a line that's parallel to PN that goes through O. Now you can see we have the outline for our parallelogram. I'm going to put a point there. And now I can use my polygon tool to make P, Q, O, N, and back to the start. Again, I can click Show Hide Object. I want to hide these lines. And then when I click my arrow tool, all I have left is the parallelogram, and I can click and move everything, and the sides will stay parallel. In order to do a rectangle, I am going to start with the line again. This time, I'm just going to use my perpendicular line tool. Perpendicular line through R, perpendicular line through S. I'm going to make a point on one of those lines. Here I can either use my parallel line tool or my perpendicular line tool. I'm going to use my parallel line. I want it to be parallel through RS through point T. That will automatically make it perpendicular everywhere else. I can add my point at the fourth corner. Use my polygon tool to make TUSR and then back to the start. Show Hide Object. I'm going to hide those lines because I don't need them. Click there. And again, no matter what I do with this, it stays a rectangle. I can verify that with my angle tool. There's a right angle. There's a right angle. And all four are right angles. Finally, we can use our parallel line tools again to make a trapezoid. I'm going to start out with a line and a point, so I can use my parallel line tool to make one set of parallel sides. I only need one set of sides to be parallel, so now I'm just going to go ahead and make the corners of my trapezoid on those parallel lines. And I'm going to hide my lines because I don't want to see them. And there is my trapezoid. No matter how I move that around, I'm going to have one set of parallel sides. Also notice once I get to Z, it's going to start over my letters at A1.